What's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's like 8:45 right now. I'm just leaving the gym. Finally got back in the gym with Toby. He's back home today and he didn't oversleep this time. So we went and we did push day and it was a good workout. I had a good workout. I saw that guy again that in a few videos ago, like a few weeks ago, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I talked about this guy. His name is Jamie, and he came up and asked, well, first he was asking Toby, because Toby's a lot taller and bigger than I am, and he was asking him if he needed, or if he wanted to come out and work for his pressure washing company where they wash big rigs and stuff, big rig trailers. And I talked to him because Toby wasn't interested. So I was talking to him, and I was like, I told him I would do it, and I was like, yeah. And I was kind of excited for it because it was like you do it in teams. You go in like teams of 2 or 3 people to go wash these trailers in these big rigs. And he said it took like 10 minutes per thing, and then you move on to the next one, and then you move on to the next one. And it sounded really cool, and it was pretty good pay. I think it was like $17 an hour, which, I mean, I really didn't want to work. I don't want to work hourly, but for hourly pay, but I mean, it was decent. And but then anyways, I completely forgot, because it was right before I was starting at the warehouse working on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, and that's when he worked we would have to work was on I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think it was, from like the same time that I was already gonna work, so I had to tell him I couldn't do it. But it sounded really cool, and he's like, said hi to him, and that was cool. And then while I was at the gym, I listened to Andrew Tate interview from 3 years ago, which the only reason I listened to is because I saw some things, because he just recently had a new interview with a psychotherapist, I think, or a psychologist, and people were talking about how like his best interview of all time was 3 years ago with a psychologist or psychotherapist or whatever. I don't know which one it was, but his name is David, the guy that he's the psychologist or the psychotherapist, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, like, he's just an interesting guy, and he's easy to watch because he's entertaining, and he says lots of things that people think but they'll never say. And I mean, you know, you've probably heard of Andrew Tate. He's just inspiring and entertaining and all that, but it's just interesting to hear him talk. And I mean, he says pretty much the same thing in every interview, but he just talks about like how men, they have a duty no matter how they feel to do what they need to do, because like as a man, it doesn't matter how you feel. You have to get up and do the same thing, no matter if you're sad, happy, depressed, whatever. And it's so true. And he's like, he started talking about like your ancestors and people, like, it's not necessarily about the money and the cars and the house. It's just the fact that your ancestors fought so hard to be able to continue their bloodline. Like back in the caveman days, just to survive, it was a fight. And you're here now, and what are you doing? Like, the chances of you being here now from your ancestors, just your ancestors alone, like the people who died back then that weren't able to have any kids, and your ancestors did, and all the way down the line to this present day, and here you are, and what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So it's like, that's interesting. That's a really interesting angle to look at things from, because then it's like, it puts you in a position, like, I have so many people like that put me here today, and you just didn't get here on your own or by accident. Like, this was a long time in the making, and you're the product of it. So now what are you going to do? And it's really cool to look at it from that angle, I think. And but on another note, there's a bunch of fires going on here, so it's really smoky. I don't know if you can see outside behind me through the windows. There's like 2 fires near us, and they're pretty big, and it's pretty scary. Not as scary as like Maui stuff, but yeah, we had poke bowls yesterday, and they were giving like 20% of the proceeds to Maui or something like that. But I mean, we probably would have gotten a poke bowl anyway. I mean, I guess that was kind of cool. And it's kind of annoying because we always go there because me and my dad like seafood and fish. And poke is just fish in a bowl, really. It's like a burrito bowl with sushi, but if you don't know what it is. And I think originally it was a Hawaiian thing, so that's why they were kind of giving back to Maui. But it's really annoying because we go there and then he'll like think about getting something, and we go there because of us. And I mean, my mom likes to get chicken in the bowl, but she likes it too, but she doesn't eat the fish. And we go there, and the last couple times he doesn't get anything, and it's like, come on, man, you're like part of the reason that we go here for. If we knew that you weren't going to get anything, we would have gone somewhere else. And people are just weird. It's kind of funny. It's kind of annoying, but it's just how people are. And so the moving date is approaching fast, and I think my friend Sam is going to Boise State, and I think he left either yesterday, today, or he leaves tomorrow, which is pretty cool. It's cool for him. He's gonna live in a dorm with like 2 of his other friends, and they're doing a bet where no gaming for the first month of college, and he's like an avid gamer. Like, he plays Rust, and he plays a lot, and I don't know how he's gonna do it, but it's gonna be fun to watch. It'll be interesting to see how long he lasts, or if he'll probably end up going more than a month because he has a bunch of people there that he knows and stuff to do. And that's one thing too, California moving date I'm looking forward to, because I mean, for the most part, there's a lot of drawbacks to it. Like, it's California, and I won't be able to do very much and like go outside and stuff because it's unsafe, but I'm gonna have to do it just to put me in that uncomfortable environment, just to learn and grow and stuff. But that's one thing that I'm gonna miss about here, because like I can just go to the gym. I can just that's another thing. Toby was telling me about his vacation down to Dallas. He went to Dallas for QuakeCon, which is a convention for a video game that he plays a lot. And he met one of his friends from Virginia, I think, who he's never met in person down there. He went by himself down to Dallas. Toby did. And then his friend went, and I think he's like 17, so he brought his brother who's like in his 20s. And they had like a miscommunication because they were supposed to be sharing a hotel room, but I guess his friend that booked it didn't get in until the day after Toby got there. So Toby had to stay with one of his other friends online that he hasn't met before. Picked him up and went to his house and slept on his couch, which was really nice of his friend. And then they went and did their thing and went to QuakeCon and stayed in the hotel. And then his friend ended up leaving, didn't tell him that he was leaving like the last day of QuakeCon. And so Toby's parents had to book him a hotel, and we went to check in, and apparently you had to be 21 to check in, but the lady's like, well, as long as you promise that you're not going to do anything like bad to the room or whatever, then I'll let you stay here for the night. And then so he did, but then he was hungry, so for dinner he said he was out. He had to walk 10 minutes to a Whataburger by himself at like 6 p.m. in Dallas. I'm thinking, like, in my family, My parents would never let me do that. Well, first of all, they would never let me go to like somewhere like Texas by myself. They won't even like, they're thinking of having second thoughts about letting me go to California by myself, even though I'm going to be with family. And then Toby was walking the streets of Dallas by himself. Like, dang, bro, that is a really cool story, and that's why I wanted to tell it. I know, if you're watching this, Toby, I liked the story. It was good, and that's why I had to share it. But, yeah, that was pretty cool. He said he liked Dallas, but it was really hot. When me and my dad went to Austin, and then we drove down to Brownsville, and it was hot. Definitely hotter than it is here, but it was nice. I liked it. But anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video there. So make sure you subscribe and share the video with a friend. Join that Discord link in description. I updated the link because apparently it was out of date. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.